that's a whole other story we're not even going to go into. But whenever in the past I've handed in a paper, regardless of subject or how hard I worked or anything like that, I've never handed in a paper and felt as though it deserved a grade higher than a C. And whenever I get them back, I'm always completely baffled, and kind of ask myself, well, what paper were they reading? Because I almost invariably get A's or B pluses. I think the lowest grade I've ever gotten was a B, and that was a paper I wrote just a couple of hours before the class started, and I hadn't gotten a chance to proofread or edit or anything like that, and I still got a B on it. So I would always ask myself, are they just not reading the paper because I'm seeing all of these flaws in it, and they're apparently not seeing them at all? I don't beat myself up, just beat the crap out of myself for the stupidest little mistakes. I would miss a preposition or something like that, and I'd just berate myself over it. Ask myself, I missed a preposition, how could I still get an A on this paper? I missed a preposition, that kind of stuff. A little harsh, don't you think? And that's what my therapist said. It's a little harsh, isn't it? And I said, yeah. And my therapist has been helping immensely with all of these anxieties that I have. And apparently it has been paying off since I was able to hand in this paper without assuming that I was going to do poorly on it. So it seems like a very minor thing, just handing in a paper and being confident that you'll do well on it. But for me, it's kind of momentous because it's never been something I've been able to do. And the reasons for that are manifold and rather personal, and the kind of stuff I don't really need to go into in too much depth. But these issues have always really gotten in the way of my eventual goals. My ambition is to eventually get into graduate school, get a PhD, eventually, hopefully, fingers crossed, teach at a university somewhere. That's the goal. Who knows if it'll happen or not? The job market at the university level is incredibly competitive, but either way, I haven't even been able, because of my anxieties about my ability to perform as a student, I haven't even been able to apply to graduate school programs. I have, at times, I've looked at programs, I've gone to the websites, I've gone through their requirements, and just going through the website has caused me to go into a full-blown panic attack. And just, curled up in the fetal position, sobbing while my brain berates me for even bothering to try, because it's obvious that I'm never, ever, ever going to be able to succeed, and I'm just going to end up, my brain always eventually comes to the conclusion that I deserve nothing more than to die in squalor and poverty somewhere. And, because I'm obviously a complete imbecile, and everyone knows it, and everyone is just humoring me, and that's the dialogue that goes on in my brain. It's my mother's fault. just the fact that I've had this small victory, it means that I can hopefully start, moving forward in the process a little bit. I probably will not be able to just, sit down tomorrow and write out a whole bunch of applications, which you shouldn't do anyway, because they can totally tell when something is just dashed off in one afternoon. These things take time. If I tried to just dash off an application tomorrow, I would probably collapse in another panic attack. But I'm at the point where I feel like I can start at least getting the ball rolling a little bit, at least asking professors for advice on what to do and where to look for good programs and that kind of thing. Never been able to do that. Absolutely petrified by the notion of asking a professor for help, which is also irrational, it's kind of their job to help you out with this sort of thing, but, thing talking to me in my head tells me that, I'm not worth their consideration. But I'm pretty sure I'm able to, argue my way past that at this point, and, it feels really good. And even better, it feels excellent that I've been able to do it without, medications. Because everyone I've talked to, people, commenting on my other videos have said, people have spoken to in real life, have all said that medication for depression and anxiety is one of the worst things that can happen to you in the course of your life. So I'm glad I've been able to do it without that, and I'm not gonna say that, my depression issues are completely resolved. Maybe some of my anxiety issues are getting to the point of being resolved, but doubtless the depression is still going to be there. But, in regards to my sense of inadequacies, maybe they're, slightly mitigated. Fingers crossed. At least I haven't had any major depressive episodes since, my last one, which was in, spring-ish, April, March-ish, which is kind of a record for me. It's usually kind of a 3-month sort of cycle for me, and, we're going on 6, so this is good. So, I kind of didn't intend for this to be a depression, anxiety kind of video, but I guess it kind of turned into it. Apologize if you were expecting something else. But, I guess that's where it went. And, at least in this case, it's like a good thing, I don't have to whine about how, my mommy wasn't nice to me when I was a little kid. I get to, be happy that I'm getting over the fact that my mommy wasn't nice to me when I was a little kid. She wasn't abusive. Okay, we're not gonna, clear that up. My mom wasn't abusive. She was just very, very critical. And she didn't even know that she was doing it, and now that I've pointed it out to her, she recognizes it, and she's apologized for it, so, I don't want to make it out to be worse than it